Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Kickstarter in the current year. Now, today's project is going to be very... Oh, excuse me for a little bit here. It appears that my off-screen cartoonish dog is yapping away and causing some problems. Now, good news is I have a swift and highly ethical solution for this issue. And there we go, that solved the problem. And the project's title is Hush Puppy, the world's first AI dog bark shock collar. Oh, excuse me, it's not a shock collar, it's actually an e-collar. I mean, you can't really call it a shock collar, obviously, because then it would be highly illegal in most of the civilized world.
This is Max. And this is his pup Lucy. Today, Max has an important meeting.
Hey there.
He needs to present the company's new project to investors without being disturbed.
Look at how relatable this guy is. All business attire, important meeting, but he's joining the call from home, so he's not wearing pants. Wow, he's just like me, for real, for real.
All right. Fresh.
Wow, this is such a realistic and relatable situation. You've ever been in a business meeting or like a call, a conference, if you will, and something distracts you, and one thing that never happens is that something goes wrong during a call, and the rest of the people in the call go, "Oh, what happened there? Everything okay? Everything okay? Are we good to go?" And then you keep going. Or they go, I guess this might be, something's wrong, I guess we might do this better in person or reschedule. No, actually what happens is that the very slightest distraction occurs, and then they just fucking kill you. What the hell is this? What kind of interaction with the goddamn company members is this Max fellow having here? He can't afford a single goddamn distraction, and yet... it wasn't the dog that distracted him, it was his phone at first, which is what the dog reacted to, and then there's a bunch of other noise, which is probably what the other people in the call would be having the most problem with. Also really appreciate how these high-ranking executives or whatever the hell, and like his boss, are sending him fucking freezing face emojis? Really?
Introducing Hush Puppy, the world's first AI soundprint dog bark collar presented by OnShip.ai. If your dog barks at inappropriate times and disturbs your normal life, that's when you need it.
That's when you need it. You don't need to train your dogs. You don't need to have something like that the dog can be doing or whatever. You don't need something that's allows you to mute your fucking microphone in any kind of call. What you need is a shock collar for your dog. That's what you need as a responsible pet owner.
When Hush Puppy detects a dog barking, it emits a gentle, harmless static stimulus powered by a small AAA battery. This creates a positive association in physiology to discourage your dog from barking.
Wow, they know about Pavlov? They know what a Pavlovian response is? I know what a Pavlovian response is. I learned that in high school. This seems very legit. I will now invest my money into this project.
Wait. Static?
Wait! Static? Yes. Cunt.
Mild static. It operates solely on a single AAA battery.
What's the concept?
What do you mean? What's the concept? That's not even a relevant question. There's no reason for him to ask that question, and there's no reason for her to answer to the question in that way. What fucking concept?
They all run on a single AAA battery, so Hush Puppy is absolutely safe.
They're saying it's safe, and they keep emphasizing in the project that it's safe. Their definition of a safe is, this thing cannot provide enough of a shock to harm or kill your dog. That's most shock collars that exist on the market. That doesn't change their legality or like how ethical they really are. They don't like harm your dog necessarily through just electrocuting them until they can't fucking move anymore. mostly a psychological distress that they cause. That's sort of the agreed upon thing. So, fuck you.
Real-life sounds are intricate, and traditional dog bark collars can't accurately distinguish between complex external noises and the dog's barking. Hush Puppy doesn't behave that way. Hush Puppy's adaptive sound detection technology excels at accurately identifying the unique sound of dog barking, even in complex acoustic environments. This results in an impressive recognition accuracy rate of 99.1%.
99.1%. That is very impressive, you know. It's an impressive amount of germs to clean with your your freaking cleaning spray. It's an impressive mortality rate for a deadly disease. Is it impressive that once every 100 times that this thing activates, it's going to be shocking your dog for no reason whatsoever? Not quite. Also, this is cool and all, but if the point is that it's doesn't activate just from random other sounds and it's only when your dog barks, well then surely this thing doesn't actually solve any of your problems with the call. You're still having a bunch of other sounds in there, and it's like most of the time the dog isn't just going to start barking on their own especially if they've been trained. They're going to start barking when there's a bunch of stupid noises happening all around them. And those are going to be the things that are going to be disturbing your fucking stupid business call, you pantsless. Here's the thing. It's obviously not a new product on the market. It doesn't even really try to pretend that it's a new product. What it advertises itself as is the world's first AI-driven dog bark collar. It's a fucking shock collar. I'm going to be calling it a shock collar. That's what it is. They're avoiding the term very, very much on purpose because if you look up shock collars on Google, you'll immediately be met with a lot of articles and a lot of veterinarians telling you that you should not be using shock collars. And in fact, if you also look them up, you'll find that shock collars are illegal in Germany, Austria, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Portugal, Slovenia, Switzerland, Wales, the province of Quebec in Canada, and some states in Australia. They're not good for your dogs. If you want an example of why they're generally not that great for any living thing, you can use this as a prime example. It's quite sad to observe, really. Now, obviously, again, they're not really aiming for high voltage. They're not aiming for harming the dog. But none of these collars are aiming to harm the dog. In fact, it doesn't really make sense to me that this thing only activates when the dog barks, and it does a little bit of an effect. Normal shock collars, you sort of, as far as I'm aware, you sort of dictate when you deliver the little shock charge, and you can adjust how strong the shock is, and you do it manually. You don't need an AI for this. Shock collars, even when they are genuinely being used, aren't used just, you put it on the dog and you're like, okay, now you don't ever bark again. They're supposed to be used where you tap it a little bit when the dog is doing something you don't want. Again, I'm not advocating training your dogs this way. That is how they're used, though. They're training collars. They're not just fuck off, I don't want you to make any noise collars. But either way, this is not a new product. But here they've pulled the usual shtick of, one, using AI buzzwords and shit to make it seem like it's a new thing, and two, and I really hate it when companies do this shit, they made this video purposefully in a way where they frame as the biggest concern and the biggest issue at the very beginning that what if you have a Zoom meeting and you don't want to be disturbed during the Zoom meeting, and suddenly the dog barking isn't an issue that's existed for literally as long as humans have had dogs. Now it's suddenly a very modern issue that needs a very modern and inhumane solution. And you know what? It's also a very bullshit reason. Like I said when I was making fun of the video in the first place, it's not like you're going to immediately lose your job and lose all credibility because there's a dog barking in the background, for God's sakes. Some of the most viral videos that happened during the coronavirus and even before then are these calls and interviews that have happened where something happens in the background, like a kid walks in or a dog the dog walks into a room, or what the dog doing, and something just happens in the background, and you know what happens? Everyone has a little bit of a chuckle, and then they move on? Because that's what a fucking adult does? Why would this be a problem under any circumstance? I will go as far as to say there are genuinely very few things that would disturb progress following a Zoom call or an online meeting or a Microsoft Teams meeting or whatever the hell else you use. There are very few things that will hinder your progress afterwards that can go wrong during a call. You know, I've had meetings where like the person hosting them has really shit internet and you can barely hear them. I've had meetings where they just can't figure out how to turn on their cameras or turn on their mics, or half the people in the call don't know how to do that. That's still completely fine. Somehow we survived. One of the most infamous examples of this happened to the goddamn Italian government, where their entire call was replaced with like Tifa Lockhart porn. And you know what? The Italian government didn't immediately collapse afterwards. If anything, it's actually kind of impressive that it didn't, because collapsing is kind of the main thing that the Italian government does in the first place. So I can only assume that it's actually held together thanks to the Tifa Lockhart porn. It certainly led to quite a lot of propaganda. So maybe that was for the better, and maybe your dog is going to get you a promotion, some real Airbud shit. But the reason I chose to look at this project right now isn't just that I think it's pretty heinous and the video is terrible. I also chose it because with 30 days to go, it has already succeeded. It has raised $31,000. It was only aiming for $6,000. So this is a successful project. So if you've ever felt the urge to look at my channel and the projects I've looked at and say, Walter, you would never make fun of a successful project, would you? Here's the thing, I absolutely would. I saw this project on r/shitty Kickstarters, saw that it was successful, and decided to look at it. Because it is more common for me to talk about unsuccessful ones, because it's easier to find absolute garbage on there. The cheapest rewards here is for $59. You can still get a couple of these from like an early bird special, but like fucking don't. The full price for this goddamn piece of shit is going to be $109 goddamn dollars. Which, by the way, if you look online, you can get significantly cheaper training shock collars for about $30. They're probably going to work better. They don't rely on AI. Like, everything on Kickstarter has to fucking rely on AI at this point. No, it doesn't. Some things just work better without an AI. Train your actual goddamn dog yourself. Don't use a stupid collar to begin with. Every veterinarian and everyone who works with animals is like, yeah, I guess this can work, but it can also fuck up your dog. Meanwhile, positive reinforcement and like actually training your dog, significantly less likely to fuck up your dog. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, do be leaving a like and a subscribe. And make sure to tune in next time for another wonderful episode of Kickstarter in the current year. If you want, you can check out the previous videos. There's a playlist somewhere. And sorry for this video coming out a slight bit late. Had a busy weekend. Hopefully everything is gonna go back into the usual rhythm with this week. So, bada bing, bada boom. God, that's the best thing you can do is make your pitch video just you in like a freaking wife beater or something, sitting at a public restaurant like a freaking KFC or Burger King or something, looking down at your phone and rambling about the future of entertainment. You seem to know so much about entertainment and video production from the get-go, buddy.
Camera and projector were invented 100 years ago. That invention changed the venue industry.